So, Don, the stage is yours right now. What is your story? What is your recommendation for people? Maybe some inspiration after Jordan's speech.
How much time do we have left?
Oh, we have 40 minutes.
Okay. One thing that I just recently came across, heard, and it's exactly what I'm doing anyway, but it said that if you're not making money while you're sleeping, you're going to work the rest of your life until you die. That's true. You know, right now I've got 5 different businesses that, you know, every one of them, I wrote the book 37 years ago. I've been getting royalties on it for 37 years. Okay, while I'm sleeping. I started my network marketing company. I've been in it 50 years, but I've been with the company with now 25 years by sponsoring 4 distributors. And from those 4 distributors, it grew to 1,400,000. And I'm averaging about 500 new distributors a day coming into my business. Guess what? While I'm sleeping. Okay. I built my own private resort. Okay. I've got somebody that manages that. And it's, you know, we had to close down for almost a year because of COVID, but now we're back active. But, you know, something I'm really excited about, and Jordan, listen carefully because we need to talk sometime privately. We have 2 pickleball courts, and there's 3.5 million people in San Diego, and only 2 families have 2 pickleball courts. Okay, we're going to be adding 8 more, and we're going to start having pickleball tournaments on weekends. Now, if you don't know this, okay, I just heard this like in the last couple of weeks. There are 10 million people in America that play pickleball. Okay, by 2030, they're going to be 40 million. And by then, there'll be 400 million worldwide. So there's some huge opportunities there. I mean, like in America, Kmart, you know, they've already gone out of business, and people are actually putting pickleball courts in Kmart's. I mean, it's just an absolutely amazing, and all these other big department stores. So there's things out there that you can do, you know, that while you're sleeping, you're making money. Now, you know, I think most of you know that, you know, we're working on our app, you know, and, you know, I've been telling people that with what we teach, you know, with the app system and technology, you're going to be able to do in 2 to 5 years what took me 25 years to do. Okay, we're changing that. Okay, and Jeff is updating the book. Okay, and it's going to be incredible because the book has been updated in 37 years. So, you know, we're gonna talk to people, and we're telling them that, look at, because of artificial intelligence now, it's not going to take you 2 to 5 years. We're going to teach you how you can do in 1 to 3 years what took me 25 years to do. Okay. So, I mean, I'm more excited about the business today I've ever been, because the opportunity out there, huge. I mean, we're not going to do it today, but the next month, I'm going to do a training for you, showing you different what we call niches in building your business. How to talk to people, you know, that want to retire. I got a gal on my first level that makes $250,000 a month, and she always taught that the first thing you do with a new person is find out what they want. And I don't disagree with that, but it's not necessary. I mean, why do I want to spend a lot of time finding out all the different things what they want, when there's millions of people out there that I already know what they want? Okay, right now in America, people want to be able to retire. There's no more retirement in America. Okay, I mean, it's on our news that people are going to be working until they're 92. You know, they're selling their 401ks, their investments, their stocks, and you know, and every day you're seeing something new on the news. People now, 80% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. Now they're using their credit cards to buy food and gas. Okay, and you know what the interest rate is on credit cards. And now we're hearing that, you know, people are only eating 2 meals a day. Okay, so people, they need to make more money, But see, they can't do it by another job because they never see their family and they still wouldn't make enough money to ever retire. So they get involved in a business. And what I'm going to tell you now, I've been in the business 50 years, and I just came across this here few months ago. The most important thing you can tell a person before you sign them up in the business, you got to teach them the difference between a traditional business and network marketing. It's really quite simple. Because see, there's 3 ways of building a business. You got your product approach, which take you forever. Okay, it's the slowest. You got the business approach, which is a little bit faster, but there's a problem there I'll explain in a second. And the fastest way is the own your life approach, because we have a market of 100%. See, in America, it was on the news, 6 months ago, I think it was now, where they're talking about only 4.7% of the people in America want anything to do with selling. So if you think you're out there trying to recruit people to sell, it doesn't work. So bottom line, we have a conversation with someone, when we're ready to get them started, so they understand the difference. Now, what do people think of when they think of a business? This has to do with overhead. They need to buy a store, build a store, rent a store. They have to have employees, a payroll, they got inventory, which they got to buy. And guess what? People, if they can't afford 3 meals a day, they can't afford a traditional business. There's no way. But see, they can afford network marketing, because most companies out there, you can get started building your business without even spending any money. Okay. You get started, you start sponsoring and building your business, and people are signing up, buying your products and so forth. By the end of the month, you're already going to have some money coming if you buy a product. Your overhead is you got to make a purchase of some products each month. And, bottom line, they can afford to do that. Anybody can afford to do network marketing. Now, I have a gal in my downline, started a few months ago. She had a traditional business. She had 66 employees, did government contracts. And when she heard what I'm going to tell you next, she couldn't even sleep that night. She heard me say that I did 150 million last year in volume. Okay, 150 million, and I've never ever had a secretary. She couldn't believe it. Now, Jeff, my partner in the app, he did a little research on this, and he found out a traditional business that does that kind of volume has over 500 employees. So you can see why all these people that'll never retire could never do a traditional business, but they can all do network marketing. So exciting, okay? And one thing that, we also are teaching that, we let people know the difference between sales and network marketing. Really simple, okay? You tell a person, if you are recruiting people to sell, they are working for you. If you are sponsoring and teaching people to duplicate, which means you're helping them go 3 or 4 more levels deep, you are working for them, okay? Huge, huge difference. Do you realize, okay, this is where I don't disagree, with Jordan said, but, he signed up all those people, that's great for him, but I couldn't do it. I don't know how many people could do it, because we're teaching that once you've got 10 active people, you can go the rest of your life and never have to sponsor another person, because those 10 people will go to 100. You got to meet 100 people, and you got to meet 1,000 people, and you got to meet 10,000 people. Do you realize, like I said, you go the rest of your life, never have to sponsor another person. People were recruiting people to sell their whole life. They're always looking for that next person to recruit. It's crazy. So what I'm going to do next month, okay, I'm going to teach you about 4 different, what we call niches, okay? I'm just going to tell you about one of them, and then we'll get into the rest of them next month. And that is, how would you go out there and sponsor older people, okay? Very simple. All you do, and this is what we call a third party. You never ask a person directly if they'd like to make an extra 2,000 to 5,000 a month when they retire, because most people want you to think they're doing okay. Okay, so all you got to do is say to a person, you know, how many people you know that would like to be able to have an extra 2,000 to 5,000 a month coming to them when they retire? And I said, and I'll say, well, and they'll say me, you know, they'll refer it back to themselves. Where if you started with themselves, they want you to think they're doing okay. They'll say me, I say, well, what if I could show you in less than 1 minute how you could be able to retire with an extra 2,000 to 5,000? What are they going to say? No, don't show me. I'm just going to end up broke. They're going to show me. Okay, here's the 1 minute presentation. Okay, you say to them, you know, how long would it take you to find 10 people that would like to have an extra, you know, 2,000 to 5,000 a month come when they retire? And they're going to say about as long as it'll take me to get to my Facebook. See, what I'm teaching you now wouldn't work 10 years ago, because older people, they weren't on the internet and they weren't on Facebook. But we're talking to people that are, say, 4 to 5 years away from retiring now, and they know they're not going to be able to retire. So how long would it take them to find those 10 people? Some people could probably find them in a week or a month. You know, it's amazing. So what happens here, they sign up those 10 people. Now, when those 10 people are getting their 10 people, even before you get to the 100, you already have enough money to buy all the groceries you want and buy all the gas you need. Now, when those 100 sponsor their 100, okay, that's 1,000. Now you can pay all your bills, your rent, your car payment, whatever. And when those 1,000 get there, that's 10,000, folks. I'll guarantee you, you will be going on a vacation every month for the rest of your life. Now, that whole presentation, folks, is basically initially was a minute. It was less than a couple minutes. Anybody can learn to do that. So I'm going to teach you how to do that in several other ways with young people, you know, and so forth. For example, you know, we're teaching people how to use Google and Zoom. I mean, how many of you know how, just an example, I'll go into details on it next month when I do the presentation. How many of you know how many churches there are in America? Well, go to Google and ask them, they'll tell you 370,000 churches. Okay, 370,000. Then you ask Google, how many of those churches are going broke? They're going to tell you 70% are going broke. The other 30, the reason they're not going broke is because they're Catholic. You know, the Pope's got more money than he knows what to do with. Okay. But why are those churches going broke? Well, if people can't afford to eat 3 meals a day, they can't afford to tithe. So I'm going to teach you how you could sponsor a preacher or their church and get them started where they can save their church. Like Jeff and I right now, you know, our goal is to save our industry, because our industry is going, you know, all the companies in the world right now are going down because they all will get to a point where they're losing people faster than they can add them. You know why they're losing people? Because they don't teach their people to duplicate, to sponsor and teach. And, you know, people ask me, Don, how do you motivate your people? Because most of my people are in Europe, about 80% are in Germany. And I say, I don't motivate them. I teach them how to motivate themselves. And there's 2 ways they do that. I have a publisher in Australia one time told me he read my book 10 times. Every time he read it, he learned something new. Now, there's things in there when you read it will motivate you. That's not the big motivator. The big motivator is when you're duplicating and sponsoring 3, 4 levels deep and so forth. Just give you an example. Let's say that you're sound asleep at night, and while you're sleeping, someone on your 3rd or 4th level signs someone up in your business. You get up in the morning, you look at the computer, and you see you have a new person in your business. You are excited. There is nothing will excite you more than that. Okay? So all of a sudden, a few days later, someone else sponsors someone, and then the person you sponsored gets someone. all of a sudden you're getting 3, 4 a week, and then 5 or 10 a week. Like I said, not counting weekends, when I get up in the morning, I'm getting over 500 a day. I had last month, I had 2 different days, I had 700 people sign up in a day. Okay, am I excited? That's what will motivate you. People are spending thousands of dollars to go listen to these motivational speakers. And the problem is none of them are building a business in network marketing, but they can motivate you, because by the time you get through the course, they got you motivated to spend a lot of money to come back for another one. Okay, it's what we call a hot bath. You get out of a hot bath, you cool off. Okay, the motivation I'm teaching, it just keeps getting hotter all the time. So really, really exciting. And another thing, there's a few other things here on the niches I'm going to teach next month. I'm going to teach you how to sponsor people in another country. If your company has operations in different countries, I'll teach you how you can build a business in those countries. We'll get going with that. So for that, how much time we have? Because I just kind of give you a quick.
We have probably 10 minutes to go to question and answers. So 1 minute to present something more, please.
I'll just give you a quick thing here, and I'll get more detail on this, maybe the month after next, whatever, because we want to get this recorded. We want people to really, really understand what it means to your life when you own your life. And what it means for me by owning my life is what it's done for my family. Okay, I've got 5 grandchildren, and when my 2 boys, Doug and Greg, were growing up, I owned my life, and I had time, money, and health to drive them during the week 1 hour one way just to get to their tennis lessons. Well, they both got college scholarships and so forth, and now they're both teaching pros. And Jessica, you can look up Jessica Failla on the internet, and they started. Greg married another gal that went to a school in Texas on a tennis scholarship. So they started teaching Jessica when she was 5 years old, tennis. Well, when she got ready to go to college, she went to USC for 2 years, $62,000 a year. Okay. And that would have never happened if we didn't own our life. And the school was too liberal for us. So she got permission to leave. So she went back and looked at Ohio State. Okay. Because the #1 woman tennis player was there. She thought, well, that'd be a good place to practice with someone like that. Well, that gal turned pro. So she ended up going to Pepperdine. But while she was at Ohio State, a guy by the name of Kyle escorted her around the campus and so forth. That became a 5-year internet romance, and they just got married December 17th, this last December. So anyway, she goes now to Pepperdine, which if you're not familiar with it, it's primarily a law school, but it overlooks the Pacific Ocean, probably one of the most beautiful campuses and stuff. And that was like $72,000 a year for 2 years. Her junior year, she was injured, so she couldn't play. So she got another year eligibility. So she goes to master's school in Pepperdine and got a master's degree, and that was $92,000. And then COVID hit, they canceled the thing, got another season, got another $92,000. Well, when you add it up, she got about $500,000. Okay, that's because we owned her life. And Joel, while we got a little time here, I'll tell you quick about Joel. Joel's just turned 18. Well, when he was 17, he already had his private pilot's license, which I'll be talking, it's another little niche here about how many people out there trying to get their pilot's license. Well, just to give you an idea, to get a pilot's license, you start off with having an instructor for five hours at about 75 to 100 an hour. And then now, you don't have an airplane, you got to rent a plane. The planes are $200 an hour. Well, if you get to 600 hours, you can get a job being a commercial pilot. because you don't need to have a college degree anymore to be a commercial pilot. So Joe, at $200 a day and 600 hours you need, that's $120,000. All these people, they've been trying for 5-10 years to get the miles, and they've got 10, 15, 20 miles. Joel just graduated from high school a week ago, and he already has over 600 hours. How did he do that? Because we owned our life. We bought him an airplane. Well, by having his own airplane, he was flying before he went to school. After he got out of school, he was flying 5 hours a day. It cost him about $40, $50 for fuel. Okay. Compare that to spending $200 a day to rent a plane. So we got this, that's the little niche that he's signing up, going to get started. He's got a database already of 1,500 people that want to be pilots. Okay. You know how they can be a pilot? They can get into network marketing in 2 to 3 years, can be making enough money where they can buy a plane. Okay. Just to give you a couple ideas. I got another one I'll tell you next time we do this. But once people get it in their system about owning their life, and that you've got a market of 100%, because most people, when they're out there trying to build, they're trying to recruit people to sell. They got a market of 4.7% of people that want to sell. We got a market of 100% because 95% of the people would love to own their life, have time, money, and health. The 5% on the top, they'd like to live forever so easily they can make great customers. So anyway, I'll open it up for questions, but next week.
We have 5 minutes for questions, please.
But we'll go into details on these 1-minute ways of, how you can save the church, save old people. I mean, how you talk to young people. I mean, it's going to blow you away. I mean, the business is so simple now. It just, people are working. One more thing I will say, that with the upgraded book, okay, and the app coming out, I already said that you're going to be able to do in 1 to 3 years what took me 25. Jeff's done an amazing job upgrading the book. It has been upgraded in 37 years. And like we say that when you read my original book, it's like you got your college degree, okay? And when you put the app into practice, you're going to have your master's degree. And you take what I've taught you there, and we were saying in 2 to 5 years you own your life with a PhD. Well, this book is so complete, the edition, that anybody that reads the first chapter, they're going to finish the book, okay, and they'll have their PhD just by reading the book, okay, because it's got everything you'd ever possibly could think of. Yeah, that's going to be in the book. Jeff, do you want to make any comments on the book?
Yeah, it's I tried to dot every I and cross every T, so that when you read the book, it's something that you can actually make your own and take what you learn in there and apply it just as fast as possible. Excuse me 1 second, I gotta cut my alarm off.
Share $100 that we paid them.
Thank you, Di. Anyway, excuse me, sorry about that. Yeah, so it's going to be very simple, but at the same time, it's going to be very, very comprehensive, so that you can take that and start applying what you learn right away. The old stuff is going to be there. There'll be new things that Don talked about, self-motivators, the difference between, 5, we in the old book really concentrated on working at 5 at a time, which is, you still generally don't want to work with more than 5 at a time. But now with technology and the internet, things happen so much quicker. They're so much less expensive. There's so many more people all over the world that you can introduce to network marketing. The long and the short of it is that, you can expand your network now, even in less time than it took to get your original 5. So the potential for network marketing is just absolutely enormous going forward. And I hope you like it. It's going to be done next month. and I think it's going to help revolutionize the industry, because it's going to be able to, Don already mentioned it, anybody, and Jordan mentioned it, anybody can do network marketing, but not everybody will. I think with the new book and with the community and the app, a lot of those people that otherwise wouldn't have, because maybe I remember when I first read Don's book, it was great, but trying to put the pieces together was a little bit hard for me. I tried to make it so that people don't have to go through that, oh my gosh, this is great, I can apply it immediately and start growing very, very early in their network marketing career. So yeah, that's that.
I think one of the biggest thing is that, with the book and the app and so forth, we got the system, there's 3 steps. The first one is to talk about owning your life, which takes a minute. The next one is, if you want to own your life, you need to understand it. I'll send you the first 5 chapters of the book. How do you want me to send them to you? By print or audio? Once they've read it, then they go to the app, and Jeff does the demonstration on how they can send out the first 5 chapters in take about 20 seconds. But what I'm getting at here is that people don't have to talk. Most people don't want to talk, okay? Well, they don't have to talk. If they can talk 1 minute and just get them their foot in the door with the Own Your Life, with the system and technology, and they do that by talking about owning their life. So absolutely anybody can do it. And I'll just close with one statement here. When we started doing these Zoom trainings, we used to have probably 90% women on the calls, okay? And the reason why the spouses and the boyfriends and all that stuff were not actively supporting their women was because they didn't want to sell or talk to people about selling. And if you haven't done this yet, you can go on YouTube right now and type in my name and see the 25-minute presentation I do that, when people listen to that 25 minutes, they totally understand that we are not looking for salespeople. Once they understand that and they realize that anybody can do the business, all of a sudden now we got, I haven't checked the whole group here because I'm just seeing a strip across the top, but I'd say 50% of the people that are on our Zoom calls now are men. So letting the tools do the talking for you. And those Zoom trainings, that 27-minute with YouTube, people can listen to that while they're on their commute.
Yeah.
Questions and
guys.
answers.
Thank you very much for today. I appreciate your time, especially you, Don, and Jordan, because Jordan has already left. But thank you very much, Jordan, because probably you will listen to it. And thank you very much, Jeff, and all of you. I appreciate and would like to update that next Zoom meeting with Jeff will be on 28th of June, and with Don 12th of July. The same time, the same link. Feel invited, yes. Thank you very much, and warm greetings from Poland. Bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, photo.
I have photos, don't worry. That's to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Adriana. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It was great seeing everybody.
Thank you. Wonderful evening.
It was
Bye-bye.
my pleasure. Thank you very much.
For now. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Adriana.
Thank you.
all.
Bye.
Gracias, saludos desde México.
Saludos.
Thank you from Switzerland.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Guten Abend. Gute Nacht.
Gracias, saludos.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Adriana.
Thank
all
you.
the work you
Bye-bye.
do to put all these Zooms together.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sue.